Hello YouTube, what's up? This is Billy Pilgrim and I'm going to be sharing a build that I've been playing around with lately and it's turned out to be quite fun, so let's get into it. The idea is to be playing an arcane archer kind of character, thematically. In order to do that, we're going to go with an Aasimar, just because they get Musetouched, which is probably the best race, just power-wise, for any kind of archer character. And everything just flows together really nicely, because we also need the charisma for our spellcasting. Spellcasting, you say? Yes, spellcasting. Arcane Archer, remember? So, one of the things that I recently learned is that Eldritch Archer spells, if you cast a spell, an arcane spell, from another spellbook, let's say Wizard or Sorcerer, that is in the Eldritch Archer book, you get the same effect as if it was cast by an Eldritch Archer, meaning that you can get the bonus attack per round by casting a Sorcerer cantrip, that's also in the Eldritch Archer book, or like Scorching Ray, because that's also in the Eldritch Archer book, as well as Hellfire Ray, obviously the most powerful spell for us. So the idea is to make use of this fact. So we need some Eldritch Archer levels to do that. We'll start off with simply 2 Eldritch Archer levels for the free attack and the, well, that's basically it. And the ability to cast the spells, right? So we want 16 charisma, because we're going to go for sorcerer spellcasting. Yeah, Musetouched is just insane for this build. It works out perfectly. You want quite high strength always for an archer, because with composite bow, your strength modifier is added to your damage. And with the sorcerer Draconic bloodline, with fire, we're going to get extra damage dice for our scorching rays, right? So it really works out really nicely. And we'll also get a respectable attack bonus. So basically the first feat is easy. We're an archer, point blank shot. Not much surprising there. I don't know. Just pick random spells other than True Strike. True Strike's the only thing you're going to be memorizing. I think alignment doesn't matter. Maybe Lawful Evil is like the most optimal, because you can use Castigator Cloak, which adds a bit of damage to your auto attacks, but it really doesn't matter. That's just a minor thing. So this is our second Eldritch Archer level. Really doesn't matter once again which spells. You can even add spells to the spellbook if you really wanted to. So now comes the quirk, let's say. We're going to our sorcerer levels here. And we're going to pick a Draconic bloodline, and it has to be a fire one. Any fire one. Let's go for gold for flavor. Doesn't matter which one though, obviously. You just want to make sure to pick one with fire. So that means we get +1 damage for each fire damage dice rolled. So for Scorching Ray, at level 11, that's 3 times 4d6. So that's 12 bonus damage flat. And for Hellfire Rays, it's 15 bonus damage to each ray. It's pretty crazy. Level 3 Precise Shot. We're an archer, once again. Not much choice here. For the Sorc feat, I would definitely go Extend. No choice there either, in my opinion. And the first spells we wanted to pick are Enlarge and Hurricane Bow. Now this is another reason why this build works out so nice. These spells stack with each other, making your longbow do 3d6 base damage from level 3 onwards. And that's pretty impressive to be pumping out from the back line. The only problem is that we have low base attack bonus from our sorcerer levels, but we're going to solve that quite quickly. First of all, we have quite a high number in dex. At level 4 we have 20 already, so +5 attack bonus just from that. Pretty decent, I would say. That solves most of our attack bonus problems in and of itself, of course. We'll get more, because we're going to go into Dragon Disciple as soon as it becomes available for the bonus strength, which will add a nice little flat damage boost to each of our auto attacks. So at level 5, you have a choice. You can go Rapid Shot or Weapon Focus. Sorry, Weapon Focus is down here as well. I think it kind of depends on what difficulty level you're playing. If you're playing on like unfair or hard, maybe Rapid Shot is not so great, because you won't be hitting with that third attack, because you're already taking a -2 penalty from the Magus thing. So maybe you want to go Weapon Focus first. Weapon Focus, Longbow. Not only is it nice to have an extra attack bonus, it's also nice to be able to qualify for Shatter defenses later on. Now, as your third spell, I think I would personally go for Expeditious Retreat first. So I play no reload run, so you have to bear this in mind when I'm talking about my builds. Like I try to build them as safely as possible. Now, archers are always squishy and they're always susceptible to being ambushed by a back spawn, which the game loves to throw at you. So in this case, we're going to pick up Vanish as well, just to help us out a little bit here and there. And we'll pick up mirror images as well to mitigate that, hopefully. That'll be enough. And also, just you have to be aware of your positioning much more when you're playing a squishy backliner for a no reload run. If you're not, of course, you don't have to worry about such things. Right, so now we're level 5. At level 6, we're going to DD. So DD is nice because it's 3/4 attack bonus levels instead of half, like the Sorcerer. Which means that for 4 DD levels, we're getting 3 attack bonus. And combined with 10 Eldritch Knight levels, we're going to get 16 base attack bonus, which means 4 attacks around, which is perfect for what we want to do, right? We're basically almost a pure archer that can fire off an insane amount of spells. So at level 7, we are in our second level of DD. Right, so what did we take? We took weapon focus, so we go rapid shot. You could switch them out. For the DD feats, I think you want to make... I mean, I'm quite partial to improved initiative. You don't need blind fight. Unless you really wanted to, you can take it. The thing is, we'll be getting echolocation as a 5th level spell, so it's not really necessary for us. You could go for quicken, but the only thing you'd be quickening is probably truestrikes. If you quicken Scorching Rays, they compete for level 6 spell slots, which is going to be full of Hellfire Rays, right? And you never want to cast a Quicken Scorching Ray instead of a Hellfire Ray, I think. But you could always pick it. It's really up to you here. You can even go for Great Fortitude or whatever. I just like improving initiative. Gets you... you'll be caught flat-footed a bit less often, which is pretty nice. So as level 2 spell, first and foremost, obviously Scorching Ray, very important to this build. Then we go for... Oh yeah, all our attribute points, by the way, go into Dex, so we'll have 24 flat by the end of the build. I'm going into UMD here. Feel free to pick whatever you feel like you need. Just be aware that you're quite limited on skill points for this build, so you can't go into Trickery or something really. I might go up to 10 UMD and then a bit into Stealth, just to have a better chance with the Vanish. I think now I'm going to pick up Vanish for sure. We have Scorching Ray. The next spell for level 2 is Sense Vitals. Sense Vitals is very important. Adds 5d6 sneak attack damage by the late game. Very good for us, as we do a lot of auto attack damage. Same here, same deal with the skills. So at level 9, we want Dazzling Display. No matter what order you took, Weapon Focus and Rapid Shot, now you take Dazzling. Because you want to qualify for Shatter defenses. As far as 3rd level spells go, doesn't matter. Whatever you're missing, basically your 3rd level spell slots are going to be filled up with extended Sense Vitals. So you'd only be casting those for level 3 for most of the game. I'd say maybe here and there, whatever you're lacking, but yeah, I would definitely mostly be casting Sense Vitals from level 3. Level 10, Shatter defenses. Again, only pick this if you have a reliable way of getting your enemies to be shaken. Like you can do Dazzling Display with this character. It has high charisma and high persuade, so it should work out fine. But you'd rather spend a round attacking, to be honest, with this character. So if you have a Bard with Dirge of Doom and you get it around this level, pick Shatter defenses here. And you should by this time in the game. So going for Shatter. And oh yeah, we went into Eldritch Knight, right? After our 4th level in DD. Never go more than DD 4 into Dragon Disciple, in my opinion. And we continue on with Eldritch Knight. Eldritch Knight, of course, full attack bonus progression. Get fighter feats, and we get spellcasting progression, -1, which is exactly enough for what we want to do. Next feat, Manyshot. Not much to be said there. Obvious choice as far as an archer goes. Now we pick up truestrike. I guess you could argue for picking up truestrike earlier. Some of the level 1 spells are basically up to your own discretion, I'd say. Like, there's no wrong picks, really. And the same goes for level 3. Maybe a haste you might need. You could pick the haste first. You should have level 4 or 5 spells available on your other casters at this point in the game. This build lags a little bit, but it also pumps out the damage just fine without any spells available, with just the level 1 buffs. So the 4th level spells, I think you want to go for Invis, personally. But again, some people have a preference, you know, they want to go for... I think Animate Dead is a perfectly viable pick there. whatever really. At this point in the game, now this kind of depends again on how you're running the game. If you're doing a no reload run, like I do usually, I would want intimidating prowess at this point. Just to have a higher chance of succeeding with intimidate checks, we'll have a pretty decent strength score right now. Should be 18. Plus, let's say we have a +4 belt, +4, right? Dex and strength. It's already 22, so we're sitting on +6. That's more than you can get from Deceitful, for example. So I would definitely go for improved prowess. I think Deceitful +2 in all persuade trickery checks. Right, so +4. Definitely intimidating prowess adds more. And the most important persuade checks are intimidate checks, right? So that's why you want to take it. Again, if you're reloading, then you can ignore it and pick another feat like improved crit. That's probably what I'd go for if I wasn't picking that up. You could go for acid arrow, whatever, backup thing to kill trolls, but by this time you should be way done by this chapter 2, to be honest. Also, heroism, yeah, really up to you. Animate Dead, very important spell though, I would say. You could argue to pick it first. There's definitely something to be said for that. The main danger with a build like this is that your front line gets overrun, and Animate Dead really helps you mitigate that. Like, if you see that your front row is taking pummeling or there's a back spawn, you could just summon these guys right at your feet, and they'll take care of business for you. They can really, really save your butt. So I always like Animate Dead. They're also immune to, Stinking Cloud, stuff like that. Very, very good summon. I think by far the best in the game, if you ask me. Now we pick up improved crits for ourselves. And again, if you didn't pick up intimidating prowess, just pick up improved crit in the previous level, right? I'll go for echolocation at this point in the game. Just very useful buff to have for yourself. And for this level, I think we want weapon spec, longbow. Any kind of flat damage that you can add to your attacks is very important for a bow user, a bow wielder. I don't know, here it's really up to you. Maybe glitter dust even, I don't know, it's too late for glitter dust. False life, whatever, doesn't matter. Maybe resist energy communal would be nice. And here, okay, we're also done here. Dimension Door, actually. For being able to reposition yourself during a fight can be super useful, especially once you have your level 10 Eldritch Knight. Yeah, you definitely want Dimension Door. For level 5, less important, I think. Really, much more open to anything you might want. I think Angelic Aspect is a nice buff to have always. So, may as well pick that up. I think 10 points in UMD is more than enough to cast heal scrolls, and that's basically the only reason why you want to have UMD on every character. After this, I'm going into stealth, just, in case I need a vanish suddenly. Level 6 spell, there's only one choice, it's Hellfire Ray. Instantly, it's just gonna do a lot of damage. And it's gonna let you go Nova pretty damn hard. Right, at this point we'll go greater weapon focus in my opinion. And then another level 4 spell, probably protection from energy communal, it's always useful and backup. And let's see. Here you could go for waves of fatigue. Thing is, you're not fighting in the front line. You could even go for this maybe. Yeah, that might actually be quite useful in case you get attacked, Something to give you a chance to escape. It's always useful. I was going to say Waves of Fatigue isn't so great if you're an archer because you need to be close to the front line to cast it. And I'd probably pick up Sirocco just for some CC if you want to. Sirocco is just a really strong spell in general. Now you don't want to pick up Transformation. You might be tempted to... Whoops, I put one more. Anyway, it's fine. You might be tempted to put... to pick up Transformation because you want to be attacking, but... the whole point of this build is to be casting and attacking at the same time with our Eldritch Archer levels, right? So what did we pick up? Greater Weapon Focus, Clustered Shots. We have one more feat to go. Right, so at this point, there's only one choice. Clustered Shots, quite important actually, and it comes, you could argue it comes a little late. But we should have enough damage, flat damage from all this combined, as well as our equipment, to not be too bothered by damage resistance. If you are, you could always pick it up earlier. You could pick it up instead of intimidating prowess if you wanted. Yeah, it's definitely the only feat that you really need, though. Now, here's something that I'm unsure of. If I recall correctly, Umbral Strike is in the Eldritch Archer spellbook, which means that you should be able to cast it as well. But don't quote me on that. It's something that I should probably have checked before I made this build. If it's not in the Eldritch Archer spellbook, you'd probably just want to go for Legendary Proportions or something, or Firebrand. Something like that. Probably Legendary Proportions. Waves of Exhaustion is also a really good spell, but again, you're not in the front lines, so it's going to be harder. You don't want to run up to enemies and cast a debuff on them, right? With an archer. No point in doing that. Right, so we're picking Umbral Strike just in case it is a viable spell to cast. Yeah, our stealth is really low, so maybe, yeah, really not worth doing, maybe. Doesn't matter. So our last feat, this one is again an important one. Empower. So the whole reason for the build, we want to pick up Empower here. I'm going to pick up Icy Prison. It's a decent little CC spell with a no save element to it, so no matter your DC, it will always land and do something. For level 6 here, up to your choice really. Maybe another Heroism Greater. You could go for Transformation. No, I wouldn't do that though, no. Maybe Heroism. And then here we go for Legendary Prop. You could also go for Firebrand. Again though, Firebrand is maybe less important on a build like this because you're not going to be walking into your Siroccos, right? But it's nice to be able to cast it on others, I guess. And your last spell level is going to go back into Sorc. It's going to add 1 attack bonus because it's an even number. And it's going to bring us to 16. Perfectly calculated, right? So we get our 4 base attacks around, almost like a mature archer. We have actually quite decent saving throws with this build. Something that I didn't pay much attention to, but imagine if you cast Divine Grace from a cleric on yourself. You're going to be sitting on at least 22, 24 charisma, plus 8 to each of those. That's pretty good. That's a hefty amount, I would say. And one more last point into Dex, so it comes out even. The only problem is we're lacking an int, but you know, some things just can't be helped, I guess. And that's pretty much it. So the last spell here, I would probably go for Frightful. You could go for Angelic. Doesn't matter. Both are good. I think I prefer Frightful slightly, just to get the free shaken. Although by this point in the game, you definitely shouldn't be needing it. Alright, let's briefly go over some of the items. Oh, it looks like I haven't actually equipped them. So let's go to Mod Manager. And let's give ourselves some basic items. Well, no, let's give ourselves some nice items that are easy to get. Shepherd's Armor. So I like to cheese this area. If you don't, fair play, all up to you. But you can get this armor very early on if you have a Dimension Door. Even cheesier is to use a Pit spell to go underneath the wall and pick it up. But it's a little dangerous area to go if you're not reloading with all the skeletons at a very low level, right? So about level 8 or 9 you can pick this up though, for sure. What else would we want? Crown. Let's give ourselves a crown. We get that like from the story. And then we'll give our physical perfection belt. Let's go for a +4 one. Let's just be reasonable, right? It's pretty easy to get a +6 one, but we'll go for the +4 just to show the build. What else do we want? Oh yeah, very important item, Burning Amulet. This build really needs this amulet, so you need to be pampering Mim because it's an artisan amulet, but it's a low tier one, so you can get it quite early if you're a little lucky. And you might actually want to ask her to make an amulet until you get it. I would definitely do that for this build. And then as far as bows go, well, there's so many nice composite bows that go through the game, like, you know, that get progressively better, that you don't really need to worry about it, but the best bow in the game is a mirror bow by far. And then for rings, I go for something like the Dreamer. But that comes quite late, though. And what's the other one? Circumstance. I guess that's like late mid-game. Ring of Circumstance, the first one that you can pick up. But yeah, that should be all. Let's have a quick peek. Throw it all on. Shepherd's Armor. something like this. Yeah, so if you have a Castigator's Cloak, it's +1 damage. But look at this, we're sitting on +17. Let's give ourselves an instant rest here. Right, and all our stuff is full with our equipment. Let's just do this. Just a level 1 buffs. So we're sitting on 3d6 plus 18. This is our damage. We have 1 from Manyshot, 1 from rapid shots, and 1 from Eldritch Archer. That's 8 attacks around, plus 1 from haste. It's 9 attacks around. 5 of which are full attack bonus. So that's pretty damn decent, I'd say. You can pump out a serious amount of damage. Let's have a quick peek at the spellbook. So what you want to do is you want to go Sense Vitals, Extend. Always make my extends green. Scorching Ray, Empower. Make my empowers purpley. And then level 6, Hellfire Ray. Of course you want to extend and empower other spells as well, but this is just the most important ones. So now you're sitting on 3 empowered Hellfire Rays. You're going to have Grandmaster Rod. You're going to have the Rod of Flaming Vengeance, which adds more damage to your fire spells. It's just stupidly good. You can pump out 2,000 damage in a round. Like, you fire off an empowered Hellfire Ray, and then you fire off a bunch of arrows. If one of them crits, you get to cast another free empowered Hellfire Ray instantly. You can just destroy stuff. It absolutely melts stuff in the game. So anyway, this is the build, more or less. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh yeah, and if you want to see how this build plays out, you can always watch me on my Twitch channel. I stream quite frequently. My no reload runs. I'm not always playing this build, of course. This is just an example. It's one build that I've been playing around with lately. And if you want to see how it goes, be sure to check my Twitch channel out. Link is in the description below. And hope you liked the video. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one. Peace.